Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a bonus new moon reading for the month of January. This tarot oracle reading is for you, Leo. You are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Leo, we still all have a little bit of Leo in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Leo in? That's where this energy will show up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. I already have shuffled the cards. I'm just giving them a quick cut shuffle before we begin. Recognize that this also is a timely reading, meaning that whenever you're seeing it, it is the perfect time for you. If it's been some time since I have posted it, take a look back at what was going on in your life at that time, and that might give your situation more clarity. So we do have standing, this is a conviction beyond a doubt, and standing your ground to do what you do, to know what you know. You want to do what you know. And so this energy is coming up a lot in my readings lately, and I feel it's because we've moved from the energy of 2025 into 2026. It's been, about half a month now of being in January energy. So this is someone that is standing on higher ground, and this is about being willing to fight for what they want to do. And they have conviction beyond a doubt that this is what they want to do, and they know what they know, and they're going to do it. That's the kind of energy. This person has a boot on one foot and a shoe on the other. Now this could just be that they were in a hurry, but it's also representing, I feel, the shift from going from the energy of 2025. 2025 was a 9-year. It's 2 + 2 + 5 = 9. And that is the end of a cycle, whereas 2026 is 2 + 2 + 6 = 10. 1 + 0 = 1. It's a brand new beginning. So we're not just moving from one year into another year. We're actually moving from an almost decade of a cycle, and ending that cycle as we rebirth into this new cycle. And so that's the energy here for it's for the entire reading. And now let's get the underlying energy for the internal forces. So the internal forces, we have the Queen of Wands here. So the Queen of Wands is represents a person that is born to shine, someone that has natural beauty, sunny disposition. That's why she has the sunflower here. The sunflower represents following the cycles of the sun. So it's about talking about having a bright outlook on life. She also, this veil in the background is a veil between the spiritual world and the physical world. So this is representing her energy and her ability to use both her logical mind and her intuitive mind to solve problems with a creative solution. She's holding up the wand here, and the wand is made of wood. It represents the tree, and trees have deep roots representing ancestors, and also the offshoots, which represents the descendants. She has a little black cat here looking over, and this represents the energy of, she really doesn't care what other people think about her or what she's doing, because she's doing what she feels is exactly the path that she was destined to go on. And this cat, a lot of times black cats would be considered to be very bad luck, but she's not concerned about that, because she knows that she'll just use her intuitive and her logic, and she doesn't really believe in bad luck. She just believes in moving forward with a strong outlook. All right, so Leo, there's been some kind of energy here. And of course, Leo, you are also ruled by the fire signs here. So this energy could be speaking of you. This is your internal forces. So the internal forces are what you do have control over. You can't control what other people say or do, but you can control how you respond or react to whatever is happening in your life. It looks here, this is a disturbing card when you look at it. The heart is pierced with these 3 swords. When you look closer, you'll notice, hey, that heart is actually quite big. And so those are more like nails. So maybe this person could heal from this kind of energy. Is this a cliff in the background with the cloud, or is this a person with the throat and shoulders, and that's the head? And that's the kind of energy. So sometimes this card represents, it definitely can represent being heartbroken over something, or a heartbreaking decision has to be made, because the swords represent thoughts and the intellectual structure, your mind, and kind of logical steps that need to be taken. It also can represent matters of the heart, so of the romantic heart. It can represent that there was 3 people involved in a relationship where there should have just been 2. And so we'll see. Let's see what this is about. We have the rebel with a cause. So this is more Sagittarius energy than Leo energy, but I feel that this is representing the energy, like this new moon coming in right now. New moons are all about the new. The full moons are when you release, and the new moon is when you move into this, like, let's do some new shift. And that's kind of like this energy here of the rebel with a cause. It's like they're passionate about what they're doing, and they got this big red plume on the back saying that they could be quite hot-headed. The fire signs, which you may be aware, Leo, tend to be a little bit more fiery than the rest of the signs. And this is about reining this horse in, so that this represents reining your emotions in so that you can really move forward in a strong way. Loving knowledge for the sake of it, the mysteries of life, and getting strong to that. Now, I feel like this is coming in for you. This, even though this is Sagittarius energy, Sagittarius is also a fire sign. And on February 17th of, that will be the Chinese New Year, and we will be moving into the fiery horse energy. And so this energy is driving a lot of people right now. And that on February 17th, that's actually another new moon. That's the new moon in February. And there's also an eclipse happening at that same time. So there's a lot of energy behind this, a lot of new coming in. The danger, especially for the fire signs, with this fire horse energy coming in. A lot of fire signs already have a lot of fire. And so this is saying that the good thing about it is it's about setting really strong goals, really setting the bar high, and then really moving forward to achieve that. The part that's difficult about that is because Leo already is driven and is fiery, that it can be too much fire energy, and you can drive yourself to the point where you become exhausted and burn yourself out. And also, it's also talking about impulsive behavior. And the Leo energy is the stage of life representing that Leo energy. Think of young teenage boys that are, really like swaggering about, and they're really, really wanting to explore the world, and they're really testing out their maleness, and this energy sometimes can be very impulsive. And in the past, they used to say, oh, your brain doesn't really, the frontal lobe of your brain doesn't really totally mature until you're about 21. Now they're saying it's more like 24 or 25. And especially males tend to have that part of the brain to be take longer than for females. Although this energy is an archetype, so this can also represent a female in this energy. But this is saying some sort of communication is coming in, and it's regarding like something possibly about what happened here. And in the old days, the knight would be like delivering it, but in person, with a note or whatever. But this is, these days, like it could be someone in person, but it's more likely to be like an email, a phone call, a text, some sort of, social media post, something on the news, etc. Remembering that this is a collective reading. We do have a lot of fire energy being represented here now. So you could be this Queen of Wands and recognize the Queen of Wands. This can also represent a male in their feminine energy. Lots of action happening here. regarding this. And then we have the moon. The moon's been coming in to represent itself quite a bit in the readings. This is about illusions along your path. And you notice that we have like this shellfish is climbing out of the emotional waters here and going to do their best to stay on their path. These two pillars represent you have to stay in between here. Don't get distracted and go off in one direction or the other, because it's just illusions. And at the same time, they have to be vulnerable because, I mean, like they have to pass through this domestic dog and this wolf or coyote. And so this is talking about, are you too domestic or are you too wild? You know, like you want to have a nice balance in between there, because you're vulnerable when you're on this path. If you're just, you know, crawling out of the water here, and it's going to take a while because that's not really a comfortable position for the lobster to be in. And then we have this energy of the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is highly admired as being very, very, very good at business. They're admired for their business acumen. They are good with pentacles. They understand money, but they also understand abundance in all its forms on the planet. They do. The pentacles actually represent health, wealth, and happiness, and abundance of a lifestyle that you would want to live on planet Earth. So it's not just about money, but money is an important part of that. The King of Pentacles would generally be someone in a professional industry, like in the banking industry, or, you know, a mortgage broker, what other kinds of energy, a CEO, a head financial advisor of a corporation, someone who's very high up. It can represent someone who is an entrepreneur and owns, you know, several franchises or whatever. They are really highly respected for being stable, and there's someone that you can usually go and get really good sound advice. This could represent accountants and financial advisors, that kind of energy. And then we have the Hermit. So the Hermit is wanting to isolate themselves, go up to the top of the mountain, and then confer with God and find out, okay, what is my next step? Because I'm not sure what I should do here. And so this is talking about, you know, on the lantern, when it's full of the enlightenment and it's really bright, it will reflect the light on this rod. And so seeing all these wands here, it's talking about, this is the passion, but this is now understanding what to do with that passion. So enlightenment from the spiritual side of yourself and from the intuitive. And here we have love. So we have quite a mixture here. We have the wands, we have the swords, we have the cups now, and we even have the pentacles. So this is talking, I feel, about your overall lifestyle. And so this is the Nine of Cups is talking about someone who is highly favored. You're and on display. This could be a public figure of some sort, or what you do could be quite well known to the people around you. Like you might be someone that other people look up to, like this energy here. So this could be representing you, remembering that these can be females as well as males in their masculine energy. This card, though, represents these 9 cups. There's only one more cup in the tarot. So you're so close to having a total fulfillment of everything you love. Like this is quite often talking about romantic love, but it's also talking about everything. Like, okay, I love my partner. I love my children. I love my parents and my original family. I love where I live. I love my career. I love my neighbors. I love golf. I love like that kind of energy. And there's only one cup missing. And then there's ultimate fulfillment. So this person is sitting on the stage. And are these cups above your head here, or are they behind? That's the energy. Is this the past? Is this the present? Is this coming up very quickly here in the future? And so this is talking about, if you look at the body language of this person, they're sitting with their feet turned out, and that means they're leaking energy. So this is, and their upper body energy is totally opposite, like it's more closed. So it's saying you have to really maintain your focus. You can't be half-half, you know? You have to keep your focus because This is a wish. This is not a for sure thing. This is something that you've always wished for. And you're highly favored to win the race, but many a race is lost in the last lap. You need to stay focused on the energy and not get distracted, by things, illusions that don't matter. And that's the energy of this. Whoops, we'll put you this way. So this here is representing how you feel, like how you identify with your self-image at this time. And you're feeling like you have to make a heartbreaking decision of some sort. Or in matters of love, maybe you've just gone through something where this quite often can represent there was 3 people in a relationship. And you thought maybe that's the one cup you're missing now. You thought you had your partner, but then you found out your partner was with someone else behind your back. And so that's the energy. Like, are you going to stay with this partner? Does this partner want to leave? Do you want to leave? That kind of energy. Are you going to get divorced? Are you separated now? That's like having to make logical choices about how do we move forward from here. And then we have in the abundance and self-worth, it's kind of this rebel with a cause energy is talking about you understand that you deserve to have that passion with someone and have that love that you want. And this is talking about some sort of communication that came in. This could have been your worst fear, that something was happening and it was confirmed. You may have even hired a detective or something to go look into it, or an expert of some sort to go look into it. And then they're coming back with the communication. And then we have, this is talking about illusions. And it's interesting because this is talking about also, like, if you can discipline your mind, then you can have the freedom, to be able to move forward and release the energy that was holding you back from your early childhood and from the way that you were brought up and any illusions around that. So this can say that there's some communication, excuse me, from your early life that you're not aware of. Something happened possibly in your family that you're not aware of, and it has had a deep effect on you. If you think about, this card can represent also that the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind. So the subconscious mind is formed from the time you're born until you're about 6 or 7 years of age. And that is really, when you think about it, what do you remember from that time? Not very much, probably, especially when you were a baby. So you have to rely on the thoughts of the people that raised you. And they'll tell you, oh, you were like this when you were a baby, you were like that. These days we have a lot more pictures and, access to video and stuff. But still, the memory is kind of like from an observer looking in rather than from you having a true understanding of what occurred when you were that age. And then the unconscious mind is about your, what does your soul require? A lot of people think, oh, I'm a human being with a soul, but you're actually a soul that is traveling in a human body as your vehicle to be able to navigate through the university of life. And then we have what you are aware of, your conscious mind. And when all 3 of those are congruent with your heart's desires, then you usually have a smoother path moving forward. And so this could be something that was heartbreaking, but you do understand that you deserve to have that love that you want, that passion in a partner you can have, that you can trust, that's stable. And there may be some illusions about your upbringing that you need to take a look at to heal that inner child energy, so that maybe there's a certain energy that you're carrying that causes this to happen, and you want to have a better idea what that is. And so this can also be talking, about your emotional foundation. Perhaps you came from a family where money and earning money and material things was more important than, the intuitive side, your emotional side, how you felt. And maybe the people in your family did not show emotion, and so you didn't really learn how to express it or to live it kind of in a full way. And then this is talking about going up to the mountain, as I said, and really getting in touch with your creativity and your, like being able to be in a place where you go inward and you ask yourself, okay, like what's missing? Like maybe you've been too logical, and you've been like focused on the needs and the responsibilities, and maybe it's time that you start enjoying being more playful and more childlike, that kind of energy. And then this is, changes in your daily routine and habits so that you're in a place where you're more living the life that you really inside want, like what your emotional needs are, etc. And sometimes this can be affecting your health. Both these cards can say that, like you want to look after, your physical body will take the hits that like from the unconscious mind. If the soul is feeling like swamped and driven down and not listened to, and it's always about the material world and never about the spiritual, it can have a real hard effect on your physical body. It's like, there's a fight in between, right? And so the energy for the external forces is the overlying, it's about total fulfillment of, this is talking about having all of those 10 pentacles that are available. And it's like, it's not, and the pentacles are health, wealth, happiness, having the all-American dream, basically, having all this money come down just from the sky, and having like the beautiful house and, the location that you want, and you're with neighbors, and you have your pets and you have your children, and it's all like really a beautiful lifestyle. But there can be a hidden aspect to this card, which is also talking about being in a place where there might be something from your childhood that you need to understand, because maybe to the outside world, when they were looking at your family, this is what they saw. But behind the walls, maybe it was different from what was displayed in the public image kind of energy. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up here, like being closed on the kind of the hard energy and more open when it came to, moving forward and acquiring, but what was really going on, within that person, right? And then we have the transition of death. So this card's coming up in a lot of readings right now, and it's because we just had the new year. And this flag represents the light at the end of the tunnel. And we had the solstice on the 21st of December. That's when you have the longest night and then in the shortest day. But now we're about almost like probably 2.5 weeks in. And so the days are starting to be a little bit noticeably longer. And we also have another horse here. And so this is again talking about moving into the year of the horse, which will be on the 17th of February. And in the Chinese calendar, and that follows more of the lunar cycle than the Gregorian calendar. And so there's already been a transition, but there's going to be another one, and the new moon is a perfect time to really adjust your energy around that. Get some of this energy that you need to release so that you can move forward and have this fulfillment. And then we have. Yes, this pentacle card is the only one out of the deck where the person is actually working on the physical coin. And so this is about making money. And so this energy is talking about either you're beginning a new project or business or something like that, or you want to, and it looks like you already started working on it, and you're on the second pentacle, and you have these to go to get it off the ground. Or this can represent that you've put all this work in already and you're on the second last pentacle and one more to go, and you will be in a position to have this business ready to go. It has to do with making money, how you make money, because this is about the making money card. And then we have, for me anyway, that's how I read it. So the hangman is talking about the tree of knowledge and hanging from the tree of knowledge. Very, very similar to this energy. But now I feel like the hangman is hanging from the tree of knowledge upside down because they want to gain a perspective Now I feel like you've started to implement. That's what this card represents. You've been doing the work and you've been implementing it. So you're really on your way, and that's why you're highly favored to get where you need to go. Having said that, you're also, when you're wishing for something, it means you don't have it yet. So stay in the game. And this hangman energy is that balance of looking at things, the information you got here, and applying your logic to your intuition on like really consistent steps of action to move forward. At this time, we are in the Capricorn energy, and this new moon is a Capricorn new moon. And the Capricorn energy is perfect for like moving forward, building a business, building some project, getting it off the ground. The Capricorn energy is the most disciplined of all the, it's the most mature also of all the pentacle signs. And it's talking about being able to take consistent steps of action towards the goal. The mountain goat with the dolphin tail, can you imagine climbing a steep mountain with that tail? If they fall down, they just get back up and they keep going. Like it's like the most responsible of all the pentacle signs. This energy is also very driven, and that's the danger again. Be careful with this horse energy coming up in February, because you don't want to burn yourself out or get to the point. And I feel like this is quite a big part of the point of this reading for you, is because we have sort of all the elements being represented here. Just a little bit of water here. We don't really have water. We have no cups here. So it's kind of like, where's the cups? Where's the love? Except for here. And that's like a wish, right? So let's see. The star energy. So the star energy is talking about, yes, you're a superstar. You were born to shine. You're a Leo. You're meant to lead. She's pouring her energy into the universal pond, as well as putting her right foot, which is about taking action for the universe, from the universe, and then taking that vessel and pouring it onto the ground. And there's 5 streams here. So this is about bringing from heaven down to earth, and it's talking about this pentacle energy. Health, wealth, happiness, doing what you love to do, like being in that energy, being a superstar. And then we have the temperance energy coming in. This is also a card that's been coming in a lot, and I feel it's because of this is again like really related to the 2 parts of this energy of the fire horse coming in. Is, yes, it's really good. This is Sagittarius energy, and this is Sagittarius energy. And this is talking about, like, Sagittarius energy is about the passion to move forward and tackle this, energy, which you're doing. But the temperance card represents being patiently on your devoted to your path. And it means having to have patience. And Sagittarius is not a patient sign. They like adventure. They don't want to wait. They want to go out and do. And so this is, again, warning you. Do not drive yourself. You don't have to force it. It's meant to happen. Take consistent steps of action, like the Capricorn energy, instead of burning yourself out, by doing too much too fast and impulsively. Because the thing about the fire horse energy, like if you're on foot and you go down the path, you're going to get tired eventually walking, and you're only going to get so far. But if you're riding a horse and the horse gets the bit in its mouth and it decides to run, you can go the wrong way and very fast and very far until that horse finally decides to stop. Because when a horse is in that energy, all you can really do is hang on for dear life, because they're going to go where they're going to go and they're bigger than you. And so the energy, yes, oh, look at that. So the Fool on this new journey, in this new attitude. And I feel like this is speaking also from a spiritual perspective, that this is like going to satisfy your soul. Like that's what this is the earth angel energy. This is about, being put on the earth to do a mission, and you're on that. And now your soul is saying, now you're hearing me. Yeah. And so I feel like perhaps there was some sort of energy here regarding your romantic love life or whatever, but I feel like that's not the point of this reading. The point of this reading is to love yourself enough to heal, so that when you move forward in this new way, that you really are in a new way. We're going to clarify this. If you're enjoying this reading, please do give it a like and comment. It does empower me to build my channel. This card already wants to come out. I'm clarifying. Okay, what's this card? Let's see. This is number 49 on the Leo. And this is about abuse of power. So this is talking about, you know what you know, and you have conviction beyond a doubt that you want to move forward with it. But be careful, because you don't want to be in that, that too impulsive energy where you abuse your power to get what you want, because it's faster. You want to do it the correct way. Stay on your path. Sometimes patience is a virtue. Okay, so I'm using my, this is from Tales from the Vector. It's a oracle that I started in 2007, and talk about patience. It took me till 2020 to complete all 64 paintings. Some of them were really, really big dragons flying through the sky. It's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And in 2020, at the end of the year, I completed all 64 paintings, and now I want to bring this out in the real world. I have had it out in the past at my seminars and for several years at psychic fairs. And but now I want to I have it, like I want to print it out and have it in physical form. I'm working on the book that goes with it, and the best way to do that is to use it and learn through using it. So I have I have a website, talesfromthevector.com, TAILS. So the numbers on these cards represent the painting number in the order that they appear in my gallery. You can check it out if you're interested. It might give you some more information to empower you in your situation. In the description box below, I'm going to have, oh, here comes another card here. In the description box below, I'll put the cards in the order they appear here, and then you can look them up. We have the Gemini energy coming in. So on this internal forces, I feel like it's talking, that right away what's sticking out to me is this unconscious or subconscious mind. There's something about, if you think about it, I feel like when you were going into kindergarten, and that there's some communication coming in around that, that something may have happened at that time, that, and it could be even something very small. You could have been very afraid about going into kindergarten. I remember crying and crying, I want my mommy. Like, I remember that. That's all I remember, though. Until like maybe grade 2 or grade 1, I have a few memories, but not that much, So here, the trauma queen. So this is talking about the dramas in life, and how fight, flight, or freeze kind of energy. Like, are you going to fight for what you want? Are you going to and when we say, and this is the thing about fighting for what you want. You might have to fight once in a while. Having said that, you don't want to get into the habit of fighting for what you want. You want to allow it to come to you. Like you're the magnet and you're attracting it, that kind of energy. And the flight is running away from things, like a horse that runs off in the wrong direction. And then the freeze is just getting stuck and just doing nothing. And so you don't want to be doing that either. So it's talking about sometimes when people are raised and they have trauma of some kind happen to them when they're younger, or if they live in a family that's quite, dramatic, and there's always some drama around, it can feel really weird to be in an energy where there's no drama. And so people feel the need to create drama because they're so uncomfortable when there isn't drama. We have the High Priestess coming in. So this is, yes, talking about using your intuition in this case, along with your logic. And then we have indifference. So, there can be illusions sometimes. You might think the people around you are indifferent to your situation and to your suffering, but I'm getting like I think a lot of times they didn't just even notice it. Sometimes when we're young and we get into this freeze, we just don't say anything, and they just assume, hey, they're easier to look after this way. That kind of energy. Just do what they're told. And so this is the death and transition. So this again is confirming this, that you're moving into a new cycle. The old way is no longer serving you. So it's time to, and this could be talking like how your parents did things. You might want to change it up a little bit, when you're raising your children, and even when if you're looking to heal that inner child energy, being in a position where, oh, okay, I can recognize what happened here and I can reparent myself. We have the Sagittarius energy coming in here, with the fire energy again here, talking about, this is a time for you to expand, but you sometimes have to contract first, like going inward. And once you go inward, then you expand. And because you have the correct information to move forward. Attachment. So the attachment is the mother of all other karmic spaces. When we become attached to something, it's really easy to abuse our power, because we're in a position where I want it. And so you kind of look past that, like, I'm attached to this. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. And I'm taking it. And indifferent to the suffering that causes to others. We have anger also. So yes, this is another. And anger is an air trigger temper. So this is talking about this rebel with a cause, this plume on the back of the head, this fiery energy. This rebel with a cause recognizes that they have to rein their emotions in. They recognize they have a temper, and they recognize the signs. Okay, I think I'm going to lose my temper. And it's about being mature enough to control that. And then if you're able to learn how to do that when you have children of your own, you're not going to teach them to also be angry, because that's something, it's a gift that keeps on giving, because it gets passed down from one generation to another. And then we have the Taurus energy coming in. So Taurus energy is the toddler just before the Gemini stage. So that's even, a little bit younger. That's when learning how to give and take in life. And if you've ever been around a toddler, they're adorable. Like they're, why, why? Why? They want to know, why is the sky blue? Why is this? Why is that? And they also are learning and have not mastered yet the art of give and take. Toddlers can be really obstinate about sharing. And when they don't get their way, what do they do? They throw a temper tantrum. And so that's the kind of energy of learning, hey, I'm too old for that now. It's time to rein that in. Not getting in the habit of giving into that energy. And that may be how you were raised. That people yelled a lot. And doesn't mean they don't love you. It means that they love you and they yell a lot. And the Hierophant. Okay, so the Hierophant is the traditional structure. So again, this is talking about this energy. This death and transition is on commitment, marriage, and partnerships. So there could have been something that happened in your romantic life, and now it's done, and it's kind of like there was a lack of understanding of what it takes to be in a mature relationship, to give and take equally, and how much are you going to give of yourself, and how much is the other person going to take, and vice versa. And so this Hierophant energy is sitting right on secrets and shared resources. So this could be like you were working away really hard at something, and you just felt that you were doing it in the traditional way, which makes sense here with this energy. But you weren't necessarily being honored for it, really. It was kind of like you weren't really enjoying it that much, and no one else was either. They were enjoying the lifestyle, but you didn't really feel loved, is what I'm getting. That's the energy. And then Pisces energy coming through here. Being the authority figure, that has to be the one who is the most educated, and this is what we're going to do, and I'm the authority figure, and so I have to either, if I sink or swim. If I sink, everybody goes with me. My whole family comes down with me. If I swim, then we have a chance, that kind of energy. And I just want to point out that when these signs come up from the horoscope, sometimes you might be saying, hey, that energy reminds me of this person or that person, which very well could be, and sometimes is quite likely. Having said that, my intention here is more about, in a general reading, talking about the state of being of that sign, like when they're at their very best, that what's the energy, what can we learn from this sign? What can we learn from being in that energy, right? And also, what stage of life is it at? Like, what are we talking about here? And we have the Aries energy coming, because there's a lot of horoscope signs. And notice that this is talking a lot about, like, the Aries, the Taurus, and the Gemini are the first 3 signs that come in. And those 3 signs are talking about your very early childhood. And I feel like there's some illusions about your early childhood. And it's, and I don't know, there's so many things that it could be. I'm picking up a few things, but I'm really not going to go there, because it's not so much what happened, is about how are you going to use the information to move forward in a stronger way. I feel like there may be a need to reparent yourself in some ways. We have the shooting star energy, so that's getting back to here. Having a good attitude, right? And letting go of things that no longer serve you. Letting go of people, places, things that no longer serve you. The shooting star, yeah, we wish upon it. But if we just sit there and wait, probably nothing's going to happen. You may have noticed that. You have to have a good attitude and put some energy into it, stay focused, put your energy into it. If you want to have a strong future, you need to participate in it, basically. Whenever, like, these cards are saying, it's up to you. How are you going to use this information? And then we have the Wheel of Fortune coming in. You're destined to have a really good life, and you're well on your way, I feel. And this is talking about the Wheel of Fortune is, again, this Sagittarius energy, again, which is kind of interesting, because this is a Leo. So you might have an energy of a Sagittarius that you do know that, and it's kind of like the energy is very similar or something. So there's something about the past, the present, and the future, because this is Sagittarius, this is Sagittarius, this is Sagittarius, this is, Sagittarius, Leo energy, and also Aries. It's a little bit less Aries, because that's a different kind of energy. That's a little bit more, when you first come in and having to be stubborn and be heard because you need to. By the time you're a teenager, you have a little bit more ability, and by the time you're a Sagittarian, you're a mature adult. So it's kind of talking about that, being mature about this energy, I feel. But anyway, this is a really good reading for you, Leo. I feel like you're well on your way. You're destined for having a really positive I feel like 2026, which is a 10-year, like you have like this happening, and you're 1 cup away from love. So I feel like if you take the time to really look after this part of your life and reparent that you may end up being like, on top of it, having all 10 cups and having everything happen. It's going to require a good attitude about what's happening around you. Really, really enjoyed this reading. I'm really enjoying these new moon readings. They're very full of a lot of information about how to move forward. I love that. Instead of getting entrenched in the past and being all upset. So if you're enjoying this or you enjoyed this reading, please do give it a like and comment. Consider subscribing if you resonate with the channel. I really do appreciate it, as it helps me to build my channel. And I will be back with another astrological insight for you for the end of the month next. Bye for now, Leo.